Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can be alerted when new content is released. Enjoy the video.
So we live in a realm called space-time. And in this three-dimensional reality in space-time, there's an infinite amount of space. Space is eternal, right? There's an infinite amount of space. And if I'm local as a piece of material flesh and matter, local in an environment and time, or local in space and time, and I'm here and I want to walk up to my hotel, I have one point of awareness, I'm aware that I'm here, and then I have another point of awareness, which is my hotel. And that's somewhere out there. So I have to move my body through space, and when I collapse space, when I move through space, I experience time. So time is a result of moving through space, right? And it's kind of a realm of Newtonian physics, the realm of the predictable, because we can fly from London to Los Angeles or San Diego. You know exactly how long it's going to take as long as you know the distance and the speed, right? So the world of Newtonian physics is a world of the predictable. So then if you're living by the hormones of stress, and stress causes you to put all of your attention on your body, when you're being chased by T-Rex, the arousal of the stress hormones causes you to put more of attention on your body. You're looking in your environment. Your attention is on your environment because that's where the danger is. And you're thinking about how much time you have to get there. So where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And all of your attention is on your body, is now localized in three-dimensional reality. You got to play by the rules of Newtonian physics. So you got to work hard to get everything you want. So then our research shows that when you take your attention off your body, all of your attention off your body, and you go from a somebody to a nobody. You take your attention off all the people in your life. Not that you have to stop relating with them, but you got to get beyond them, and you go from a someone to a no one because you're no longer identifying with anyone. You take your attention off of everything in your life, your cell phone, your computer, your car, and you go from something to nothing. You take all of your attention off where you're sitting, where you sleep, where you live, where you work, and you go from somewhere to nowhere. And you're not thinking about the familiar past or the predictable future. You're going to go from some time to no time. If you're taking all of your attention off this three-dimensional reality, then where you place your attention is where you place your energy. If you're not your body, if you're not the people in your life, you're not the objects or things or places or time itself, what are you? You're pure consciousness. So you teach people then that moment of getting beyond yourself is disinvesting all of your attention and energy out of everything known in your three-dimensional reality. What is going to happen to the mechanism here called your neocortex? You're going to begin to slow your brain waves down because you're not analyzing and thinking about any of those people or objects or things. And as you do that, your brain waves change from beta, which is the arousal of your attention on the environment and on your body and time. You begin to slow your brain waves down into alpha. Now, at the same time, we teach people how to take their attention off of everything material and from a narrow focus on the material world and begin to go from a convergent focus to a divergent focus, to open their awareness, the act of creating what's called a broad focus or an open focus. As you sense space, you don't analyze and think. Well, as you're no longer analyzing and thinking, you're no longer activating those circuits in your brain, and now you start seeing the brain move into alpha, but not any kind of alpha, a very coherent type of alpha. Now the brain starts to synchronize. The front of the brain starts resonating with the back of the brain. The right side of the brain and neural networks communities begin to resonate with neurons on the opposite side, and you start seeing the psychic union between two hemispheres. Some people do it so well that they slip into this realm called theta, coherent theta brainwaves. Now, this mechanism, the home of your identity, the seat of the known self, the memory bank of your past identity, the autobiographical self, lights go out in theta. And the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind open, wide open. And now you're in the eternal present moment. And if you teach a person now to find the frequency of oneness and wholeness, if you teach them as consciousness that their consciousness can merge the consciousness of the unified field, and they can surrender their consciousness into a greater consciousness, they can lose themselves in nothing to become everything, and they can find that frequency, they can pay attention to it, they can experience it, they can become more aware of it, they can feel it. Every experience, every moment is laying down new connections in their brain for them to perceive more of it. If they do this properly, and their consciousness begins to connect to the consciousness of the unified field, now they're in that realm of the quantum, and in the realm of the quantum, time is eternal. You have an infinite amount of time. Now, imagine you have an infinite amount of time. If you have an infinite amount of time right now, you can get a lot of stuff done, yes? In fact, it's only equal to your imagination. So then, if here's a linear line of past, present, and future, if you took that from space-time and you turned it this way vertically, and Hawking talks about this, now what do you have? Past, present, and future happening when? In the eternal present moment. And so now, this is the realm that's beyond the senses. The stress hormones endorse the senses for us to become materialists. We narrow our focus on the three-dimensional world. You narrow your focus on the danger, on the cause. Now you're doing the exact opposite. You're opening your focus, suppressing the neocortex, the memory bank of the known self, and now you're tuning in with your autonomic nervous system. Consciousness is falling right into the limbic brain. Now, in this realm of time-space, all possibilities exist, and they're non-local, and you can't experience them with your senses. So, in a sense, there is no past lives. They're all happening in the eternal present moment. And so then, this is time travel. In time travel, you don't go anywhere. All you do is you move through time, and you experience spaces, dimensions, realities. So then, when you go from one point of consciousness to another point of consciousness in three-dimensional reality, the faster you go, the shorter amount of time it takes. In the quantum, your consciousness, there's no place to go because you're everywhere. You're connected to everything. And all you do is you change your frequency. And as you change your frequency, you change your connection to information. And now, when that limbic brain switches on, the pineal gland begins to become activated. Now the radio receiver is tuned on. And now the pineal gland acts as a transducer. And it's going to transduce a frequency, release the chemicals, the metabolites, to produce profound visual imagery. That's why it's called the third eye, profound visions. But the visions are not going to be out there. It's going to be more real in your inner world, and you're going to experience the mystery of who you really are existing outside of space and time. So nothing different than being in a dressing room or a bathroom when there's two mirrors like this, and you look down and there's an infinite number of yous that go that way. Those are dimensions, and you come back to three-dimensional reality after you experience that, and you're no longer in that same room. You're in another room. It looks exactly the same as the past room, but something is different in your world. There's some synchronicity, there's some change, there's some uniqueness, and every time we do the work, we keep moving into another dimension. So then, all possibilities exist in the eternal present moment, and they exist as thought because the quantum is the realm of thought. So it's not like you create anything there. You just become aware of what already exists. Right. You put your attention on it, and you begin to experience it in that realm, whatever you experience in that realm beyond space and time. And you can begin to emotionally embrace. That must manifest in three-dimensional reality. In this space and time, it's the law. Now, getting people to do that and getting better at it, we're starting to see that people can begin to create from the field instead of from matter. So yeah, possibilities for health exist. Possibilities for wealth exist. Possibilities for mystical experience exist. But you got to be able to linger there without a name, without a face, without an identity, without an emotion, without a problem, without a disease, without a diet. You can't enter as a somebody. You got to pass through the eye of the needle. And the passing through that eye of the needle is a nobody. That is pure consciousness. So then, teaching people how to do this, and when they start understanding it, they're not going to give up on themselves so easily. They're not going to quit so quickly. And if I got 1,000 people or 1,500 people and I'm inspiring them and they're going a little further every day, this is what I know. Every time they go a little further into the unknown and they come out of it safe and they feel like they've gone somewhere, they love themselves a little bit more. It's no longer, I always say there's no such thing as a bad meditation. There's only overcoming yourself. You give it your best, the next one's going to be better. And you just keep practicing, and you keep carving away all the things that you were doing unconsciously, and all of a sudden the formula gets more pure. All of a sudden it gets easier. It's no different than learning any skill, like golf or whatever, martial arts, dance, whatever. You got to stop doing certain things and you got to start doing something differently. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep teaching people how to overcome, and then they start becoming, right? That's the side effect of it. So then when you have that mystical experience and you can't wipe it off your face because you're realizing you're not that linear being living a linear life, you're a dimensional being living a dimensional life, you're going to take politics a little less seriously. You're going to take the news a little less seriously. You're going to take television commercials as a joke. You're going to see through all of that illusion because you're going to realize everybody's playing by the limited laws.